Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Dana. Thanks again for watching. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. All right, we are sitting down to film a new sunscreen video, and it's one I'm very, very excited for because we're talking about the new Supergoop Daily Dose Bioretinol Mineral SPF. So let's jump in. If you're not already subscribed, please do so below. It's like here, I think. Go ahead, just click it. And then give this video a big ol' like I always say. It does help my channel so much, and we'll get into it, but only after you do those two things. So this is the Supergoop Daily Dose. Like I said, this is a bioretinol, which means bakuchiol. Like that's kind of the slang for bakuchiol. Bakuchiol is supposed to be a natural version of retinol. There's a lot of debate around it. I'm not going to get into that. That's not up to me to decide if that's something that you're interested in. If it's not, there are plenty of actual retinols on the market as well. So, like I said, I'm just not going to get into that bucket of worms. I'm just going to be talking about this sunscreen, how it applies, what it looks like, what I feel about it, some of the ingredients, the cost, you know, the basic things. I think that some of those other kind of conversations are for you to either decide about on your own or to do a little bit more research into. Okay, so this is SPF 40. This is one of the daily doses, so there are 3 of them. I literally just put up a video of the other 2 daily doses, a showdown. I don't know when it came out, but kind of recent. And I just put that video up. So maybe I'll do a third or however many videos I've done on these of all 3. Probably not though. But this one is one of the 2 that come in a dropper. No, 2 come in a dropper, 1 comes with a pump, the vitamin C with a pump. They're all 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters, so not a lot. They're very pricey for that amount. Supergoop tends to be pricey. It's $46 for that amount. And this one has a 16% zinc oxide active ingredient. It also has 1% bakuchiol, which is their bioretinol. Here are my air quotes. And then L-carnosine, which is a version of a peptide. And they also say that it has English oak bark extract, which is an antioxidant ingredient. Now, I'm going to talk about one more ingredient really quickly before I put it on my face. This one also has Butyloctyl salicylate. That is a mouthful. So, this is an ingredient that you're seeing more and more in mineral sunscreens. This one is supposedly 100% mineral sunscreen, but when you see Butyloctyl salicylate in it, it's kind of a hybrid sunscreen, and this is up for debate. I actually am kind of on the fence about it. It is also a film former or a solvent, which helps the SPF active ingredients work better, but some people say, and I don't know if they're necessarily 100% wrong, that it's basically another form of octisalate. So it's just a few like atoms off of the actual chemistry. But that said, and I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I'm going to try to say them in a very concise way. I understand the argument that they are advertising this as a mineral, clean, safe sunscreen. But if you're looking at Butyloctyl salicylate as a chemical ingredient, then it actually is a hybrid, so that it's kind of false advertising and it's greenwashing, cleanwashing, whatever you want to say. I understand that argument and I see that point. I also think that if you don't have necessarily like an allergy to that, or it's not something that irritates your skin, don't necessarily be so concerned about it, because it's still a great sunscreen. It's still a very fluid and elegant formula. It's just part of this like clean beauty space that we have to look out for. And a lot of times you have to dig a little bit deeper into some of the ingredients in the formula. But I personally don't have an issue with it. I think it makes a lot of these mineral sunscreens just more elegant and user-friendly, and people are going to want to use it and apply it more. But if you've noticed that maybe your skin does kind of tend to be irritated by some mineral sunscreens, it might be because of the addition of Butyloctyl salicylate. So I think I said that. I think there's room for everyone. I think what it comes down to when you really dig deeper is that we shouldn't be scared of chemical sunscreens. They're actually really great, and I love most chemical sunscreens. It's like what I reach for 9 times out of 10. So don't be scared if you are falling in love with something and you learn that it does have a chemical ingredient in it. I mean, they all have chemical ingredients, but it has a chemical UV filter. It's not the end of the world. If it doesn't irritate your skin, you can keep using it. It's not going to harm you. But if it irritates your skin, or if you're just really anti this like mixed messaging and kind of greenwashing, then don't use it. But I just wanted to put that out there. I will try to go forward and let you know when a mineral sunscreen has that ingredient, but I'm not going to make such a big deal out of it in every video. So I will timestamp it now, because now I'm going to start applying. If you didn't care about that part, we're going to get going now. Okay, I always shake this one because just very, very liquid, very fluid formula. And if you're looking at it in terms of how much you should apply, I'm going to tell you exactly how many drops. I guess it depends on how full the dropper is, but this is my 1/4 teaspoon and I'm going to put it into there. So that's 1. And like I said, I'm getting a pretty full dropper, so that's 2. And if I remember correctly, it's about 2.5. Actually 3. So 2.5 to 3 would get you the proper amount. The first time that I applied this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a lot. Usually when it's a tinted kind of sunscreen, I just don't like have a lot of confidence that it's gonna look good at the proper amount. But I was surprised with this one. So I'm going to apply it. And it is very, very fluid, if you can see that. I'm going to show you a close-up of the color. Okay, so that is the application. It goes on so easily. There's absolutely no cast in it, and it really doesn't have a tint. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'm gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna show you it in natural light, and then I'm gonna talk through what I think this is a better replacement for of a different sunscreen and my final thoughts. So see you in a little bit. Look at this beautiful natural light. So this is quite a bit longer, like 10 minutes longer. I got distracted. You can see that I definitely have a glow to my skin, but I don't find it to be anything that feels heavy or greasy. It's definitely dewy. I wouldn't necessarily call it greasy, and I have found that if I let it sit even longer and just don't do anything, it eventually soaks in. It's not gonna be like a matte or even a natural finish. You are gonna have a little bit of a glowier look. It looks absolutely stunning under makeup. I've worn it quite a few times under makeup and I've really enjoyed it. I just like the ease of this. This is definitely one of the Supergoops that I really do like. So we have this one and the Unseen are kind of like the only two, and maybe the vitamin C one. But if I had to recommend one of the daily doses, this would probably be it. I think this is a really, really beautiful sunscreen. And you can just see how healthy my skin looks with it on. Okay, final thoughts on this sunscreen. So the one thing that I did want to mention is this one is not water resistant. I haven't seen anything on their website, on Sephora's, or on the packaging that says that. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but also like you can't expect everything to be everything. But what I did want to say was the very first time that I applied it, I was like, oh, this is a better version of this. So this is the Supergoop Daily Dose one, and this is the Ilia See Beyond sunscreen. The Supergoop has almost the exact same texture as the Ilia, but it's not problematic. The Ilia tends to pill like crazy. It can be irritating. It can kind of like cause tingling in your face. It's just a very not easy sunscreen for the price. Whereas this one, while still pricey, I've just not had any issues with it. It goes on beautifully. It doesn't pill underneath anything. It just is easy. And I do like that fact. I feel like a lot of Supergoop sunscreens are very easy. Also, the packaging on this is just terrible. Like, if they could fix that, that would be great. So if you were ever thinking of the Ilia See Beyond, skip that and get this instead, and you should be pretty happy. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on this sunscreen? I think It's one of the best sunscreens from Supergoop. Like I said, there is the issue with the Butyloctyl salicylate. If that's an issue for you, just move on. You know, like there are a million sunscreens out there, and I know people have issues with like the greenwashing and all that. But if it's not for you, it's not for you, and it's not that big of a deal. Not the end of the world. If it's something that you are interested in, I would consider it. The only thing is, I think for 1 fluid ounce and $46, that's a lot. You're gonna go through this pretty quickly if you are using it every single day in the proper amount. But if that's something that you're okay with, then it is one of the most beautiful ones that I've tried so far. And I will continue to use it, especially in the winter. And even as I'm looking at it, from like the time that I was in the front room in natural lighting to now, I can already see that it's kind of soaked into my skin a little bit. So I'm quite happy with it. I hope that helps in your purchasing or your wish listing adventures. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.